Hi guys, welcome back to another video. For this video, I will be covering Manhwa with a reincarnated female lead that possesses a smart and strong attitude. I know I said that I will be putting the badass female leads in one series, but I've decided to separate them in order to have more categories for you. But before we go in for the video, as you can see, only a small percentage of you are actually subscribed, so if you enjoyed the video and want more Manhwa recommendations, please do subscribe. I appreciate it a lot, and without further ado, let's get on with the first one. The first one is called A Stepmother's Marchen, also known as The Fantasy of a Stepmother by Orca, an original web novel by Spice and Kitty. It is currently ongoing with 66 chapters and its official website is Tapas. At the young age of 16, a girl named Shuli has no choice but to become the matriarch or the head of the aristocratic family Neuschwanstein. Before it happened, she is also an aristocrat but with lower status and minimal possession. She is then visited by a man named Johannes, the head of Neuschwanstein, and later married her and after dying of pneumonia, left her to be a widow. In a sense, he entrusted her to take care of the family. The family is composed of 4 children: Jeremy the oldest, Elias the second child, and the twins Leon and Rachel. With different challenges such as getting malicious judgment from other people, the challenge to fit in the social life, the unspoken hatred of the children, and of course, the challenge of literally raising them when Julie herself is still considered a child became a big obstacle for her. Nonetheless, she pushed through all of this, and then the moment came when the eldest child, Jeremy, was to marry. It means that Jeremy will now become the head of the house and Julie can now be free from the duties and responsibilities. His fiancée named O'Hara visited Julie and told her that Jeremy doesn't want to see his stepmother at his wedding. O'Hara made hurtful remarks and Julie was deeply hurt by this, and so she has tended to leave the state. Afterward, Julie and the kids confront each other, but Julie is determined to leave. She then left to go to another family villa where she wishes to spend a new life, but on her way there, a tragedy happened. The next thing she knew, she was now mysteriously brought back to her chambers, and it is the day of the funeral of Johannes, her ex-husband 7 years ago. Compared to the others I've read, this one is more of a story-driven manhwa. The depth of the story is what captivated me. At first, I was quite hesitant because I don't know what I am getting into, like I don't want to read a 16-year-old female lead playing house or something, but here I am. I literally read this in one night because it is that good. All I can say is I can't wait for all the mysteries to be unveiled, the development of the characters' relationship, and I'm rooting hard for the family. They face a lot of challenges, and especially Shuli. She is one of an iconic character. She is selfless, smart, and really brave in her own way. I can see people getting attached to her easily, and there are also other characters I have not yet mentioned who contribute greatly to the story that you should definitely look forward to. The next one is called I Tame a Tyrant and Run Away, also known as The Taming of the Tyrant by Melting and Jiyun, an original story by Yusoi. It is waiting for its next season with 34 chapters and its official website is Tapas. Ever since she was born, Charlize Ronan was always hated by her family. Nonetheless, she still seeks approval of her father as she trained hard to learn great swordsmanship skills. When asked by the Empire to be a sword for them, she instantly agreed, not even fully knowing what this meant. And then, she underwent several experiments and surprisingly, she is the compatible one. Little did she know, the Empire is literally turning her into a sword and one day she just become one. But her soul is still intact, meaning she can feel whatever things they will do to her and name her Kira. Throughout different generations, the Emperor of the Kingdom used her as a weapon. They would use her horribly, belittling her and discarding her feelings, and not only that, but they would also took all the recognition for her achievements, and finally, after 400 years, she had enough. She prayed to the god to let her have her revenge, and she was brought back to the time when she was still 13 years old. Memories of her being a sword still remains, and she makes this her drive into fulfilling her goal of taking revenge on the Empire. Every day she works hard studying, or not studying because she is a genius as all her knowledge still remains, but she is actually working on her perfect plan to overthrow the empire. And back in the time, there was a perfect man for this job, and he is the 13th prince of the empire named Dylan. He is a ruthless and cold-hearted man that totally ruled the empire, and her plan is to tame him and get him to be on her side and use him as a tool to destroy the empire. As of now, the running away part is still not happening, and throughout the first season, the female lead Charlize worked her way into getting the trust of Dylan, and they actually click. I must say that their chemistry is obviously there, and the story is engaging. At some point, you will forget the actual plot of the story when it is literally written in the title, like what made Charlize run away, because you're going to be super invested in the story. Charlize also gets back to her family, and there are a lot more satisfying moments you need to see. Third is called The Lady and the Beast by Hong Sul, an original web novel by Maginot. It is currently ongoing with 44 chapters, and its official website is Tapitun. Leta, an ethnic group of the Blanche Kingdom, is known as a race that was deeply discriminated throughout the time. They are known to possess certain powers, and people also refer to them as witches. Many generations came and peace was established between the kingdom, not until the first Prince Waldo was in need to make a commotion. He decided to frame his brother Theodore into attacking the Leta people in order to inherit the throne. The last heir and only descendant of Leta, a young woman named Martina, volunteered to help Theodore in exchange of him being a tool for her, as she also wanted to take revenge on Waldo because he mistreated her. He accepted, and together they were able to overthrow Waldo, and Theodore replaced him. One thing led to another, and it was implied that at some point, Theodore betrayed Martina, and Martina cursed him for eternity. Modernity came, and a very skilled young woman named Astina is introduced. She is revealed to be the reincarnation of Martina, and she inherited all the memories of her past life. Her family is now facing a crisis as their business went bankrupt, and a certain Atalanta Duchy paid all their debts in exchange of letting her sister Kana marry the mysterious Grand Duke of Atalanta. Kana was so devastated, and the realization of her not being able to do anything made her feel worse. Astina, on the other hand, can't afford to see her sister undergo the situation, and with her own reason, she went to the Atalanta Duchy and replaced her sister to marry the Grand Duke. But wait, something is wrong with the Grand Duke. He is in the appearance of a beast, almost like a wolf, and it was revealed that the Grand Duke is mysteriously transforming in this appearance, and there are many other women who attempt to marry him, but in the end they all failed. The duchy was not expecting it, but Astina survived the first night. She was the only woman to survive this long, and every time she kisses him as a wolf, she can trigger him transforming back to being a human. With this revelation and ability, how will their life change as they pursue their goal, and what is their real connection with each other? The main characters are so charismatic in this one. We have our female lead Astina. She is very strong and collected. Although the resentment in her heart is deep, we see her going through every situation like a queen. On the other hand, we have Theo, a very charming man. Like something about him is so attractive, and yes, that is the name of the modern male lead. As you may notice, the Theodore from the first life also reincarnated, and that is him. I don't know if I should prefer myself to be heartbroken because I can see the story to undergo an angsty routine. Although they are arranged married, they become close throughout the time, and I know the revelation will be interesting to read, and I'm so in for that. The fourth one is called The Way That Night Lives as a Lady, also known as From a Night to Lady by Ink, an original web novel by Sung Yerim. It is currently ongoing with 10 chapters, and its official website is Webtoon and Tapitoon. A woman knight of the kingdom of Ursia named Estelle Skubert led the war. She is considered as one of the most skilled swordsmen that made the enemies quiver in fear. The last moment she remembers is when she is approached by her fellow mate named Khalid and was on the verge of killing her. After discussing some strategies, Khalid was on the act of hugging her and then suddenly approached her with a knife. The next thing that happened is she woke up from an unknown place. Not wasting a time to finally scold Khalid, she stands up but is only met with a different appearance, and then she realizes that it is not her body anymore. It is a lady with a fragile body and cold-hearted expression. She is actually a daughter of a Grand Duke named Lucifella Aidin. She became hysterical, and when she asked the maid, she learned that the war ended 3 years ago and the kingdom of the Ursia lost it. Estelle herself died and her comrade Khalid threw them under the bus. The people of her kingdom are either all dead or on the run. At first, she is very resentful, but she later calms down as she makes the goal of finding her comrades. She also wants to confront and take revenge on Khalid, who is now a commander of one of the troops for the kingdom. This one is also interesting to read because I guess we see the female lead transition to her new lifestyle. We can see her living through her enemy's eyes as her fiancé is literally the commander of the kingdom's troops named Zedekiah. It will become so fun to see how their relationship will develop. I really wanted it to become an enemies to lovers type of thing, but I don't know. I think romance is still impossible as of now, and of course the character of Khalid. He is so intriguing. Estelle can see him living a good life on the enemy side after he betrayed them, and of course she is mad. She knows he had a motive for doing the betrayal, and me as a reader also can wait to know this. The last one is called Shadow Queen by Kinlip, an original web novel by Hayao. As of now, I think it is on hiatus with 60 chapters, but still, I hope this will not discourage you to read it because this is a good story. It currently doesn't have an official English translation, but it is available officially on Kakao page. A daughter of a famous aristocratic family named Veronica was now in a state of comatose. In order to prevent backlash and negative comments from the public, the family decided to hire another girl who resembles her and pretend to be Veronica. A woman named Leia, who is like the headmaster of this plan, scouted a young girl named Elena. Elena gladly took the offer. I guess this is also because she came from a poor family, and by accepting it, she can finally break out of the status and provide help to her family. She practically enjoyed her life as Veronica, all the riches in life such as buying expensive clothes and jewels. She became the top of the social circle and married the crown prince. She had everything she wanted, but little did she know she was too naive, as when it is the time of the true Veronica to come back, they've discarded her too easily. She was disgraced by them as Leia, and the true Veronica mocked her and killed her. They also threatened to later kill her precious son named Ian when Veronica produced one herself. When she died, she came back to life 5 years ago when she was about to be scouted by Leia. As of now, she had realized how much they manipulated her and took everything she loved, and later discarded her when she was of no use. This time, she was determined to basically not fall in Leia's trap for the second time, but because of her having no control of this situation, she was left with no choice but to face it again, this time with a clever approach and a goal in her mind. This is quite very entertaining to read. As you can see, Leia is like the main villain in this one, and compared to her first life, Elena outsmarting all the people is satisfying. I guess the way that she is troubled with choice to continue because the main thought that is driving her is her son, who is obviously still not in the world. Making her choice to fall into that same path will be very interesting. The only reason that I see people will not be into this is the pacing. It is very slow, but same for the others. If you keep reading it, you might be invested. That is all for the video. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you enjoy it and find something you like. Have a good day and see you next time.